Wanted to do a little video blog about being known and being loved. This Sunday I was watching Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church online. It's in Florida, and that's what they kind of talked about, and it kind of hit home to me because I feel like all of our desires is to be completely known and to be completely loved at the same time. And so this is kind of my thoughts on it. They use two different types of scriptures in it: Psalms 139, 1 through 6, and then Romans 5, 6 through 10. But first, I kind of want to talk about like how our deepest desire, I know for me, is like to be fully known and to be fully loved at the same time. And I know my fear is, at least, is like I can't have both. I can't be completely known for who I am and be completely loved at the same time. Like I have to have one or the other. Like if I'm completely known, then I can't be loved, and if I'm completely loved, then I can't be known. And so I think a lot of times, I know I do this, is I project a different self that I think people will love, and that causes an issue, because when people say I love you, do they love me or do they love the projected self that I put out there? And so it's this constant battle, and it's this basic fear, because I might not be loved if I'm known. I think a perfect example of this is the Phantom of the Opera. And the Phantom has a physical issue, and he hides behind a mask, literally, and he's singing to this girl, and he's going after, he's trying to woo this girl, and Caroline, Christine, I don't know what her name is. But anyways, and so he always goes to her in the night and sings to her and tries to woo her will. Finally, he goes to her, and the mask comes off, and he's like, Caroline, Christine, whatever her name is, I love you. And she turns away and rejects him. And I think that's our biggest fear, because he's completely seen and known now. And she turns away. She loved him when the mask was on. But when he took the mask off, she went away. And when you read that story or you watch the movie, your heart kind of breaks, because you understand what it's like, and that, because that's a huge fear. And I think the world kind of plays into this, because in two ways: on first dates and job interviews, because you always have to put on a mask. There's always these rules and what you should do and what you shouldn't do for first dates and interviews, and you never go to a job interview and say, I have control issues, I have issues with my temper, or I have issues with telling the truth. Or you never go on a first date and say, I want to make out with you all day, or you just don't say the bad stuff. You only say the good stuff, and you project a good self. So the world kind of plays into this for people, to have this false self. And something else they were talking about is, do you have relationships that it's okay to be average and to fail? And for me, there is. I have Chad, and that's a huge one in my life, because I feel like I'm completely known to him, and I can just speak my mind and everything be okay. And I have other relationships too that I can do that, but that's the main one that comes up in my head. And it's weird. As I was thinking about what I was gonna say, it's just how much time we spend lying in life, trying not to be known, or you don't even lie, just trying not to be completely known. Like how we try to avoid situations where we're not completely known. In Psalm 139, it's weird, because God in these verses basically says, I know you completely and wholly. And so this is what it says. Psalm 139, 1 through 6. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my laying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. And I think like the thing is like God even knows all of our thoughts. Like as far away as he is, like he knows every thought that we even think, and he still loves us. And he says many times that he loves us. And I think another huge thing for me is the Romans 5:6-10. And when I was reading it, was the things that really stuck out to me is like who God loves and when God loves. So when I'm saying these verses, just think about when God loves and who he loves. So here it is. For while we are still weak, at the right time Christ died for the ungodly. For one would sacredly die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person one would dare even to die. But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Since, therefore, we have now been justified by his blood, much more shall we be saved by him from the wrath of God. For if, while we were enemies, we were once reconciled to God by the death of his Son, much more now are we reconciled, shall we be saved by his life. And I think, like, God loves us when we were sinners. Like, everything was, like, when we were bad, and he loves us when we were bad, and, like, sinners, and he died for us when we were sinners. And so, I think that, to me, like, it just kind of really hit home for me this whole week. I've just been kind of looking at that and just kind of thinking on it. And kind of end you with a Martin Luther quote that I've thought about a lot actually as well. And it says, God does not love sinners because they are attractive. God is attracted to sinners because he loves them. Again, God does not love sinners because they are attractive. God is attracted to sinners because he loves them. Be interested to hear what you all think. So just post it and comments, and we'll go from there. I'll see you.